Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. In this video I'm going to show you a very important concept in routing. So what we're going to look at today is known as access control lists, in short ACLs. Okay, access control list is a set of rules that can be applied to a layer 3 device such as a router and a firewall in order to filter any incoming or outgoing traffic. Basically, when I mean filtering, is allowing or denying certain traffic based on the rule that has been set. Okay, access control list, these rules, or rather they are configured on the devices interfaces. They can be configured on the routers interfaces or the firewalls interfaces, okay, in order to filter the incoming or outgoing traffic. Okay, for example, in our topology here, let's say this is our data center. This is where our servers are located, and we don't want everybody to access these devices, only a specific person. Let's say this PC0 is the ICT manager's PC, okay, and all these ones are the users. So we don't want the users to access the servers, okay, but only the ICT manager here. So we apply the rule of access control list. So let's just include them. ACL rules to deny or permit network traffic. Okay, based on the rules that you will configure. And basically, access control list is implemented either in a router or firewall. Okay, packet processing devices. These two devices, you can implement ACLs either in a router or firewalls. Okay, and basically you configure them on these devices interfaces. Okay, you apply them on the interfaces. Okay, and there are two ways basically, guys, to configure access control list. The first way, ways, let me say ways, 1, 2. So the first way is called standard ACL, okay, and the second way is called extended ACL. Okay, so what is the difference between these two ways? Basically, access control list applies certain parameters. For example, IP addresses, port numbers, and some type of layer 3 protocols. So in standard access control list, the rule is applied to filter traffic based on the source IP address. Okay, now in extended, guys, as the name suggests, the access control list rule is applied to filter traffic based on source and destination IP addresses and source and destination port numbers. Okay, then we can say there are 3 protocols. etc, so you have to differentiate between these 2 ways. Standard access control list basically filters traffic based on the source IP address, but extended access control lists filters traffic based on source and destination IP addresses, source and destination port numbers, and other parameters. Okay, so guys, basically today we're going to look at standard access control list, and in the next class we look at extended access control list. So without any further ado, guys, let's begin our class. And guys, kindly, suppose you have not subscribed, do us that favor, guys. Click on the subscribe button, like our video, and share. Alright, we are good to go. Standard access control list. So I'll comment here standard access control lists. Okay, standard access control list. We said in standard access control list, the rule is applied to filter traffic based on the source IP address. Source, pretty much simple. But in extended access control list, the rule is applied to filter traffic based on source and destination IP address, then source and destination source port number, and other parameters. So let's begin. Standard access control list. Let's make it at least look. I'll draw that there. Today I'll use this and draw this. And draw this here. Guys, before we can configure standard ACLs, this topology consists of 2 LANs and 2 routers. And in case there are 2 routers, guys, you have to implement routing protocols in order for these devices and these devices to communicate. So the first step in our configuration, guys, I'll comment, is to configure IP addresses to the host devices and the router's interfaces, of which I already did. And for the host computers, guys, I have not configured IP address because I will use DCP server. Okay, so after configuring IP address, this is the first step. You configure IP address to the host devices and the router's interface. So the next step, guys, is to configure the routing protocol, okay, such that these devices here can be able to communicate with these devices, right? Because by default, a router only knows about the direct connected network. This router here only knows about this network and this network, and it doesn't know about this network. So you must use a routing protocol to make this router aware that there is another network in the topology. Okay, so routing protocol, and in our case, guys, let's use OSPF is the best one. OSPF. Then finally, guys, after you have verified that you have configured IP address to the host devices and the router's interface, and again routing protocol such that these devices can communicate, now it's the time to implement access control list. ACLs. These are the 3 steps that we want to implement here. The first step, I already did it on the routers. I configured the router's interface beforehand. But the host devices, guys, 6 of them, it will be a little bit challenging going each of them and configuring. So I'll use the DHCP server at least to configure them dynamically. Okay. I will just paste the configuration that I have made here on the comments. These are the configuration. When I paste them here, you will see. So I'll just click on paste. As you can see, do right. Good. As you can see, building configuration. So I'll go here again, on this router to configure the DHCP server for this LAN. Okay. So I'll just modify here to be 2.1, 2.1. I mean. Then here should be 2.0, and I copy. Let me just move this here. Then say do right. Go to this router here. Enable config T. Then you paste. Guys, we are done. So the first step is done. Okay, the first step of IP configuration is done. The second step. So guys, on the second step, we need to configure a routing protocol, OSPF. Okay, we said by default a router only knows about the direct connected network, so we need to make this router aware that this network is here, and to make this router aware that this network is here. Okay, how do we configure OSPF? The first command that you use, the router OSPF So I'll just copy this one, guys. These are what we did earlier. So guys, kindly let's just save time, and let's say let's paste. Okay, that way, as you can see, router SPF 10, these two networks. Okay, then do right. Okay, exit. The two networks have been advertised successfully. So let's go to the other router, this one. So I'll just modify here to be 2.0, but this one will remain the way it is. Same ID, okay? Same autonomous system number here, same area. So I'll copy, come to this router here, and paste. Do right. Good. So I believe the devices in this network can be able to communicate with the devices on the other network by default before we can configure access control list. That is our third implementation. So let's try to ping. This is 2.4. Let me try to ping 2.4. As you can see, they can communicate before we can configure access control list. And the moment we will configure access control list, guys, the only device that will be able to communicate with these devices will be the one that we will permit. Okay, so let's go to our last step, configuring access control list. where are we gonna configure access control list? Guys, we're going to configure access control list on this router and apply it on this interface, okay? Because it's in this interface that this network is connected to, this LAN here, okay? So how do we configure access control list? Guys, it's very simple. The first thing that you do, guys, you specify a command. You just say access lists, okay, then the number. So let's say this is access list 1, okay, then deny, okay, which IP address. We want to deny this IP address and the IP address of this computer, okay. So I'll just go here and say this is 1.3 and this is 1.4. So I'll go to here, I'll go here again and say deny 192.168.1.3. then you type this any subnet mask, okay. This 0.0.0 will match this IP address, okay, of this computer, meaning it will be denied, okay. Then another copy access list 1, let me just use space, access list 1 deny, then IP address of this computer, which is .4, okay. Very simple, guys, as you can see, okay. We have denied this one and this one, okay. So let's permit this one. How do we permit this one? There are two ways to permit this one. You can permit only this one or permit any other computer that will connect here. Remember, we have only denied two, this one and this one. So what about if another one connects here? So there are two ways. You can only allow this one or allow any other apart from the two. So for this case, let's allow any that will connect, but we don't want this user and this user to access our servers, okay. So what do? We just specify a command called access list. Access list 1 using the rule access list 1, then permit any. This command here will allow the devices connected to this switch to communicate with these servers here, except the one that we have denied, okay. So it's pretty much simple. So after we have copy pasted this command to this router, guys, access control list will be implemented. And where are we going to implement it? On this interface, okay. So we must enter that interface. Interface is gig 01, gig 0/1, okay. Then you say, after entering this interface, you say IP access group 1. Have you seen the rule 111 access list 1? So IP access group 1 out, any outgoing interface, any outgoing traffic should consider the rules above. Guys, this is very easy. You design the rules, then you implement them on that particular interface that you want them to be. For example, we want to implement these rules here, okay. So I'll just copy paste these, copy, and I'll go to this router and paste, exit, you paste, I'll paste, everything is working fine. Do right, then do right, exit. So let's go again and test. Remember the first time I tried to ping this destination, it was successful. Okay, so I'll try to ping it again. Remember, I have implemented the rules. As you can see, destination host unreachable. Again for this one, again for this one, destination host unreachable. So let's go to the one that we have allowed. Sorry, ping. See guys, access control list has been implemented successfully. So guys, as I have said, there are two ways. So for your research purposes, kindly look for the other way. It's pretty much simple. You only allow this one, such that even if any other computer is connected here, you know, it will not communicate. But now if you connect a computer here guys, it will communicate. Let me just try to connect. You will see it will communicate because we have not restricted this computer. So let me try to just to obtain, let me use DCP, so that DCP, yeah, it's obtained IP address successfully. So if I try to ping 192.168.2.4, it will ping, but whenever we restrict it, it will not ping. So guys, it's pretty much simple. The rules are here, you know where to implement them, and follow the video keenly. And basically that will mark the end of today's class. Let's meet again in the coming class for extended access control list. Make sure you subscribe to our channel, like our video, and drop a comment below kindly. Bye and see you again.